It has been a while since I did an Alteryx Weekly Challenge, but we're back for part 2 of this cocktail challenge. Only about a year and a half in between part 1 and part 2. So our first question is looking for the second most frequently occurring ingredient. They suggested using the market basket analysis from the previous challenge, but I thought why not just transpose our ingredients. So very similar to how we would have done the challenge before, so just transposing it so you get all of your ingredients listed, filtering out all the nulls, grouping by our values, so that would be all of our cocktail ingredient names, sorting them in descending order, and then taking the second most frequently occurring. So there we go. That's what we did. We got gin, which matches the answer here. Awesome. Now I definitely took a sneaky peek at the solution for the next one to double check that I was understanding the requirements correctly, because the forest model isn't something that I use all that often. And I also did it as well for the fourth one here. So for 5 and for 7 I did take a sneaky peek at the solution. No shame in doing that. These challenges are about learning, right? So you want to double check that you're understanding and doing things correctly. So, first of all, I took out all the unnecessary fields. So we only really want the drink name, whether or not it's alcoholic, the category, the type of glass, and those instructions. Now, I did a step here that made my results slightly different to the solutions. So in the inputs tool, then I went ahead and increased the field length to be 1,000, because if you see here in the solution, the input data provides a lot of conversion errors where the instructions are getting truncated. So this does mean that I get one additional cocktail that has the word stir in it. So my results are a teeny bit different from the solution, but I would argue more accurate. So I did that, and then next of all, just did a quick calculated field to say if our instructions contain shake, then that can be shaken. If they contain stir, then they can be stirred. I did lowercase around the instructions. I could have done a separate tool to make everything lowercase as well, but I just did it within my formula instead, and then otherwise null so that we can filter those out. We also filter out the null alcoholic values. So if there's a null in this alcoholic or not field, you can see there's 0.18% is null. So we just make sure that gets filtered out as well. So we get 307 records. It would be 306 in the solution. But we chose to increase the length so all of our instructions could flow into Alteryx. And then we do our forest model. So like it says in the requirements, we don't need to change much. All we need to do is make sure that our target variables are shaken or stirred, and we're using our alcoholic category and glass as our predictor values. And then we can see in the results tab here that our shaken has the lower classification error, and so that's the one that we choose as per the instructions here. So there we go, sorry, as per the results. Okay, so for the next one, we're looking for which glass is the second most frequently used for the ordinary drinks category. Now, they said using the contingency table tool as a way to find out, but I mean, I just used the classic filter it to string categories that contain the word ordinary, make everything lowercase, so in our glass category, because otherwise you see the Collins glass is some of it's uppercase, some of it's lowercase. So we want to be able to group them all together. So we group by our glass type and we get our count, sort that in a descending order, and then just select off the second record. So that is our Collins glass. Okay, so I thought that was quite straightforward, that one. And then finally, we're looking for our ordinary drink and cocktail categories. We're looking to see which ones contain sodas. So what I did is I filtered it to those categories. So does it contain the word ordinary? Does it equal category? Keep those. I decided to do a similar logic to before, where we're transposing it and then we're just filtering to any time that the ingredient is equal to soda. labeling those rows as such, as containing soda, and then joining them back on here. So joining them back on with a union so that we get all of our soda values and all of our no soda values. So just label them as such. If that soda field that we created is null, then that will be no soda. Otherwise, it's going to be the word soda. And this time I did use the contingency table as they suggested. And if I go into the results here, then I see the p-value is less than 0.05, and therefore we would include club soda. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that solution, and thanks very much for watching.